Hello, it's RobotnikIsSexy, and this is one fantastic NU match that I recorded in real time that I had with Edwardoughnut Bray, or Edward Bray, and I just had it moments ago, and it was so good that I am going to decide to spend a portion of my afternoon uploading it so everyone with eyes and a computer can see it. Lead off with Garbodor, because he doesn't have a spinner, and get off the Toxic Spikes. I was really fearing a Hypnosis, but he doesn't have it, he has Trick instead, and he tricks me a Choice Scarf, which is, I find to be a little unusual. I am max speed, more or less. I pretty much am max speed, so that Choice Scarf is actually going to help me a little bit later, but I don't want to jump ahead or anything. I go into Marwolf here, and that was a critical hit Shadow Ball. There are some pretty ridiculous critical hits in this match, but that Shadow Ball did very close to nothing, and it was a critical, so that's cool. Goes into his Combuskin, who is pretty scary because it does get speed boost. Although, come to think of it, I don't think this one ever uses speed boost, so I think that's just a normal Combuskin. All this match I thought it was a speed boost Combuskin, not realizing that it isn't getting speed boosts. I pretty much figure it's going to set up all day, so I want to roar it out, like I thought it would Sword Dance or something, because, you know, I assumed it was speed boost, but it's not, so it has a pretty powerful flamethrower, and it takes out most of my health. And I'm just barely living here, and I've got a burn from the Scald, and I can't take another Scald, and it's kind of a problem, because this Pokemon is one of my walls, and I need it to be healthy. But I do have my boy, who is an even better Pokemon, although a different type of wall entirely. And I can take the Scald, and I think that was a critical hit too. That was a critical hit Scald, and it did even less damage. Goes into Taboon. I don't know what's up with his nicknames. If this is a theme team, they all have a lot of U's and sound like vaguely European or something, or otherworldly. I don't know. I predict the Heal Bell and get my free switch, and I have Trick Room up, and goes for the Wish, so that's pretty great. I was predicting Toxic, but he doesn't use it, doesn't show Toxic quite yet, so I'm pretty sure he actually doesn't have any attacks at all, because Audino has a lot of really excellent supporting moves. Switches out into this guy, and I'm just chuckling to myself, because I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool, right? Because I've got Trick Room, and I've got a Coil up now. He's taking poison damage, and I have Dragon Tail. So I'm pretty darn sure that this thing is going to take considerable damage from Dragon Tail. I end up getting a ridiculous critical hit, but I don't think it mattered too much, because I think it would have done most of his health anyway, and he's poisoned, and entry hazards and stuff. And he goes into this guy, Tropius, and I had my eye on this guy in the team preview, because this thing is, you know how good Electros is in Trick Room, or how good Electros is in Never Use. This Pokemon is even better. This Tropius with Harvest, it's incredibly strong. So I made kind of a fatal misplay here. I forgot that he wasn't weak to electricity, so I went for a Wild Charge, and it almost kills it. But that allows him to use Rest, which I know it was going to do, because all Tropius are Harvest Tropius. And had I thought it through, I would have used Dragon Tail, and it would have worked out a lot better for me. Because even though his Combuskin is really not doing that much damage, the little chunks of damage are bringing me low enough to where another Pokemon like this Haunter could feint me. So it's kind of a problem for this Eelektross and Bastoidon. But I do have another sort of special wall, and he's quite fast at the same time, Bloodbeard, the Cryogonal. And to my shock and surprise, I actually outspeed a Haunter. I am a calm nature with max speed, so my speed is like 306 or something, and I managed to outspeed him, which I was honestly surprised. I thought it would at least be a speed tie, but no. So Cryogonal is going to be able to easily handle Haunter because it doesn't have very powerful special attack yet, because it hasn't evolved. And I also outspeed and Ice Beam did a truckload. That thing, I thought that was a critical hit at first, but it's just Haunter being very frail, which works out. So I take out Haunter, and things are looking good for me, but he still has this guy, and he still has Tropius, and both are incredibly useful, powerful Pokemon. I kind of think he is going to Toxic me now, and going to Neckbeard here because, yeah, it's kind of my best Pokemon to deal with this. And he uses Protect, which is must be his final attack, for Toxic Stalling, of course, and for Wishing and Toxic, Wish, Protect. Those three moves in tandem are just really useful. I use Hammer Arm. It doesn't kill it, but he uses Wish here, and I'm like, oh, well, this is great. He's just going to wish all his health back. He's going to use Protect now, and get all his health back, but actually, upon second inspection, if he used Protect, he would have just died from poison. So he's kind of forced to switch out, but because I wasn't really thinking like that, I thought it was a really odd move. I thought he would just stay in and wish his health back. And I also forgot about the Regenerator ability, so I'm like, hey, that Audino was dead. But it isn't. It comes back later. We make a double switch, and Barfy's out here, and I use Spikes, and we're both setting up, but this is really not good for me, because this thing is Dragon Dance, and it has Harvest and Lumberry, and it has Rest, and I can only imagine what its other move is. I believe it has a Flying and Grass attack. Go into Marwolf, just as Death Fodder, really. I was hoping it would use Rest, or the Rest wouldn't even work, it's at full HP, I don't know. Yeah, I thought it would. I was hoping it would Dragon Dance again, and I would be able to roar it out. But Edwardoughnut is too smart for that, so he takes me out nicely. I look like I'm doing something really smart here, but I actually sent Emboar out on accident, and then thought, oh crap, he probably has Aerial Ace. And then I thought to myself, hey, Garbodor has full health, and I'll get the weak armor boost, and I'll be able to outspeed and explode. And I thought he would use Aerial Ace, but he uses Body Slam instead. I very luckily avoid the paralysis, and with a weak armor bonus and the Choice Scarf that he gave to me on the first turn, I am able to outspeed the Tropius with 2 Dragon Dances. Use Explosion. It does not kill, which I completely expected, because Garbodor is, well, garbage. It can't kill anything with Explosion. It can finish people off with Explosion, but not full health. Bring out Slowking, who didn't do squat this match, except use Trick Room, which actually was quite helpful, because it really supports Eelektross, because that thing is slow. Now, this is definitely the make or break turn of the match. If he uses Body Slam, it very well might kill me. If he uses Rest, then I will have a chance to use Flare Blitz. And he told me later in Facebook that he thought he could take a Flare Blitz and that he had never fought a Neckbeard before. And I was like, well, Neckbeard is good! So I take him out with a Flare Blitz, and now his biggest threat is gone. I do think a Body Slam would have easily taken me out, and he just would have swept my whole team. So he goes into Mantike, who hasn't done a single thing for him the whole game, and I just take him down with a single wild charge, and he just goes into this guy, and I'm like, oh right, Regenerator, so it's not quite dead yet, but because of spikes and stealth rocks, and the fact that it's poisoned, it can't really heal itself with Wish. It can't afford to, and going to use Protect to stall me to death with poison damage, which is just fine. And that's what happens, and my only Pokemon left who can reasonably kill it is Bloodbeard. I guess I could have used Electros, but I knew that this thing would outspeed. Very tempted to go for the Rapid Spin kill, but I knew that it probably wouldn't have worked because I have no attack investment and all that. So yeah, that is the match with Edward, Omnom, Donut, Bray. And that was quite the keeper.